So right now it really does feel like the crypto market is full of surprises, kind of twists and turns that we weren't expecting. However, and I know we've been saying this quite a bit, but November really and truly could be a turning point. Traders and whales are objectively by the numbers stacking specific altcoins. And then at the same time, the rest of the market is kind of distracted right now. That's sort of the status. If you think the crypto market is slow right now, I'm not going to disagree with you, but that may be something that you can use to your advantage because November has the potential right now to bring about some of the most exciting moves of the year in cryptocurrency specific to certain projects. And in this video, I want to talk about 4 altcoins in particular that are under the radar right now, but that have a lot of upside and a lot of positivity coming up in different kinds of ways actually in November 2025. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest. I do wish you well, whether it's these altcoins or others. But just remember, I'm not a financial or investment advisor, nor is this video official financial or investment advice. So I just want to kick off with some good news here. Binance Square has nominated Altcoin Buzz as part of the Top 100 Blockchain 2025. Take a look at this list because we're very happy and pleased to say that we're sharing this spotlight, this honor with some big names. Go ahead and check out the link both in the description and the pinned comment because you can vote for us multiple times. This really is something that we're proud of and we'd love it if you could show your support. All right, at number 1 here, we have Solana and the SOL token, of course, SOL. This is on the list of altcoins that you really ought to be looking out for in terms of November 2025. Solana has all the ingredients as a project to pump. And actually, I elaborated just a few days ago on what some of those reasons were. I talked about 4 Solana ecosystem gems. Maybe that's too granular for you. Maybe you're just more interested holistically in Solana. But if you want to check out its ecosystem in more detail, check out that video. But first of all, in terms of why SOL as a project is going to be more and more relevant, we have to talk, of course, about Solana ETFs, exchange traded funds. This is a keyword in a big way. Hong Kong's Solana SOL Spot ETF is going to start trading tomorrow. And that is the first ever SOL Spot ETF. But there's more to it because the 21 shares SOL Spot ETF cleared the Form 8A with the SEC. That's the Securities and Exchange Commission. And this is generally considered a green light for launch. It's not an approval per se, but it's that required prerequisite. And this also comes with a 6 to 7% staking yield to holders, by the way. So a lot of incentives are lining up as well. And then another Solana ETF decision is now up for review by November 14th, 2025. It's basically just a couple of weeks away. That is Franklin Templeton's SOL Spot ETF, which could give some serious price injection to SOL, the token. If you think about the current news, that's already giving SOL a green candle. It's up several percentage points on the day. And the largest Solana protocol change ever is also about to take place. That is Alpenglow, which maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't, but it's a big deal. It is Solana's new consensus protocol, and it involves really a fundamental redesign of how validators operate. Plus, it also introduces a new way of achieving consensus. For example, off-chain voting with fewer on-chain votes, larger blocks, a 100-fold improvement over today's latency, which is the time it takes for the submission of a transaction and then when it's confirmed. And also we're going to get improved finality and throughput. Finality being when you cannot reverse a transaction in a block anymore. So this goes from around 12 seconds to 150 milliseconds, which obviously represents a massive improvement by several orders of magnitude. So actually, I take back what I said a moment ago. SOL was up on the day. You can see a spike there in the 24-hour chart, but it's back down slightly now. So it is flat as we record with a price of $199.30. With all this good news and kind of with renewed vitality in the bull market, I think $300 for SOL is a reasonable target. That would be up 50% from where we are now. Quick shout out to Surge here. This is our risk-free prediction game that's available on Telegram. And in this game, you just swipe left or right. You can kind of think Hamster Combat or even Tinder. You're swiping to guess whether a crypto asset pumps or dumps. And in the process, you earn rewards. And actually, hopefully, you can pick up some market skills as well while you're at it in the form of technical analysis. They've also kicked off a weekly giveaway. It's a contest that is super simple. Every week, there's a coin of the week. This week's coin is JUP. And all you have to do is swipe to find it in the Surge app. Then once you see it, screenshot it and then drop it under their tweet. One random reply wins $50 in USDT. It is super easy, but in order to win and have a chance at winning, of course, you have to at least participate. So check out Surge, have some fun swiping, and maybe snag some cool prizes along the way. Check out the links, the URLs in the description of this video below to participate. Ethereum and ETH is up next in terms of altcoins to consider for November 2025. We did a deep dive into Ethereum in this video last week. Check that one out if you haven't already. I kind of break down in this video why Tom Lee is all of a sudden such a prominent figure, very much the Michael Saylor of ETH, in the same way that Michael Saylor is this evangelist of Bitcoin. That's effectively what we're seeing with Tom Lee here. He has Bitmine and also does a great part in terms of Fundstrat as well, but really the current ETH price development, at least is, in a big way, I would argue, partially attributable to everything that he's doing and the way he's pioneering the Ethereum treasury strategies as well, certainly. Today, like Solana, ETH was up. It's back down a little bit now, but it actually broke through the $4,200 barrier. At one point, it was up 7.4% on the day in the last 24 hours. Tom Lee said that ETH is going to remain in a super cycle. That's due to strong fundamentals, and which are now leading the price, in his opinion. Lee mentioned that surging stablecoin demand and ETH transactions are also hitting new all-time highs. Those are important metrics to track. In last week's video, I also looked at Ethereum treasury accumulation, like I said. After Tom Lee's Bitmine, we do have some publicly traded companies like SharpLink Gaming. That's in second place in that department. They have a lot of Ether. They're not really part of the discussion, but they're certainly helping the narrative. And I think that's going to be more and more popular as a talking point and more of a public point of discussion, really. It's a variable that is very, very important. They are really, really serious about this. They just loaded up another 19,000 Ether worth around $81 million. And it just goes to show that whales and smart money by extension, they keep accumulating ETH. And then we have Ethereum's next big protocol upgrade, which is called Fusaka. That's being targeted for early November. So this is said to improve scalability, efficiency, data availability, and cost structure of the network. It builds on prior major forks, such as the Denkun upgrade and the Pectra upgrade. Now, Fusaka should position Ethereum for the next wave of rollups and layer 2 scaling. That's the promise, at least, and that should improve user experience. And then, of course, more broadly, there's just something I think that's palpable. We can all see it. There is a lot of increased institutional interest in Ethereum. So, for example, during Q3, Ethereum's ETF inflows surpassed Bitcoin's. That happened for the first time ever. So like I said, ETH was up a little bit higher, down slightly, but still up on the day overall. The current price of ETH as I record, $4,145. We'll see if ETH can double its price approximately by the end of this year, because that's what Tom Lee is calling for, 8,000, kind of on the low end. He's also talking about 10, 11, 12,000. And eventually, certainly not this cycle, I don't think that was what he intended to say, but eventually he is talking about a $60,000 Ether. Let me know in the comments below realistically where you think the price of ETH could go this year. So end of 2025, let's say by by December 31st, 2025. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by CoinEx, which is probably one of the best exchanges that you still haven't heard of. Just like Gate.io or MEXC, they offer a lot of coins, but most importantly, they offer the high quality coins that you actually want. I'm talking about over 800 coins in over 1,200 trading pairs, which are available. And they've got a great new program going on right now as well, because just for signing up with the link in our description, check it out, you get up to 100 USDT for free to help your account get going. The offer is only good until the 9th of November, so get in there and get those bonuses soon. Avail yourself of this offer. Check out the link in the description of this video and give CoinEx a try today. At number 3 here, we're looking at Chainlink, and of course the Link token, LINK. This is one of my all-time favorite altcoins, unapologetically. And I'm happy to say that Chainlink will be present at the SmartCon conference in early November. And as a project, Chainlink is going to be in some pretty prestigious company, because we also have Swift, we have MasterCard, and we have JP Morgan, who will also be in attendance. In general, more and more Web3 finance and governance actors are also going to be there. So expect some announcements and perhaps some new partnerships that will be discussed, publicized during SmartCon. And if that's the case, of course, that can trigger a surge in interest. And for context, SmartCon is taking place on the 4th and 5th of November in New York City. Chainlink's presence in the RWA market, of course, is also growing. This is a super important space. What some analysts are saying is that it's going to grow to up to $16 trillion by 2030. Take that with a grain of salt, but it's certainly possible, and it's certainly a space to keep on your radar, to keep an eye out for. And Chainlink's CCIP is a key player when it comes to this. This is, of course, Chainlink's cross-chain data transfer protocol. Currently, it offers access to over 60 blockchains, and Chainlink is a key player in the tokenization process of various assets, especially stablecoins. At the same time, we have the Chainlink reserve that just keeps growing. If we take a snapshot on the 23rd of October, that's when we saw another 63,000 link that was added. And so in total, we now have over 586,000 link in the reserve, which supports, of course, the long-term growth and sustainability of the Chainlink network. All of the accumulated link here is taken out of circulation, which then in turn increases the scarcity and arguably value of the Link token. And by the way, Chainlink also keeps adding new integrations. Just today, it announced 17 integrations across 6 services and 11 different chains. Some of these chains include Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, BNB, Ethereum, Mega ETH, and some others too. The current price of Link is undervalued in my humble opinion, $18.34 as I record. Its immediate next target is $22. Its all-time high, for context, is just over $50. Let me know if you think it can beat that by the end of the year. I am hopeful. Last but not least, at number 4 on our list, we're looking at Bittensor and the TAO token, TAO, which as a project is taking us squarely into the AI sector, artificial intelligence, of course, because really, along with RWAs, real-world assets, this is currently probably the most important burgeoning sector in cryptocurrency. But just keep in mind that in addition to AI, Bittensor is also a pillar in terms of the DePIN vertical. And like a lot of today's altcoins, institutions are starting to very much notice Bittensor. They're taking a liking to it. For example, TAO Synergies on NASDAQ, their ticker is TAOX, TAOX. They are now the largest publicly traded holder of TAO. In other words, it extended its TAO treasury to 54,000 TAO. This is a number it achieved by buying more TAO and by staking rewards. That's a neat $22.4 million at current prices. Another institution, Grayscale, has a decentralized AI fund, which consists of 6 components. And TAO is actually the second biggest of those components with a share of 22.15%. Grayscale also filed a Form 10 for Grayscale Bittensor Trust TAO. And once again, if you want more of a deep dive, you can take a look at this recent video that I published on TAO. It digs a little bit deeper into especially the institutional interest that's behind Bittensor right now as we see it. And as perhaps you know, Bittensor actually follows Bitcoin to a pretty significant degree with its tokenomics. There will only ever be 21 million TAO, TAO. Plus, the TAO token is going to have halving events. Its first halving event is going to be in early December, which, of course, is going to reduce token issuance pretty significantly. And it's also expected to create a pretty serious supply-side tailwind ahead of the event. And that being said, the current price of TAO sits just below $409 as I record. 500 seems realistic, 700 I think as well. In general, as a project, it is showing quite a bit of strength. Let me know if there's some other altcoins on this list that you think are worth considering, that are worth highlighting for the month of November 2025. Perhaps you agree with my picks. Perhaps you don't like them at all. Perhaps you want to supplement them. Let me know in the comments below which ones perhaps you would have picked instead, or which ones you'd like us to cover, because certainly there are other projects with important upcoming events in the next few weeks. So let me know what those are, and also be sure to join our social media discussions happening on X and Discord. You can find those links in the description of this video.